Death Walker! Gonna make a lovely necklace from your teeth?
Every gamer knows how frustrating dying in a video game can be. Not only will you have to restart the whole part again, and due to that lose all the progress you've made since reaching the last checkpoint, but knowing that you, the previously invincible hero, got killed by some random enemy and can now simply restart the whole section again, sort of feels like cheating, reminding you that you're actually far from the invincible hero you're playing as, and thereby taking you out of the experience. Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, eliminates this previously unsolved problem by making the world around you evolve after your death, rather than resetting it, and manages to create a game world that simply feels alive. Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor is, as the name suggests, set in the Lord of the Rings universe, and puts you into the role of Talion, a ranger and former god of the Black Gate, whose family was killed by the Black Hand of Sauron, one of the Dark Lord's most loyal and most feared servants. In murdering Talion's family, the Black Hand also casts a curse on him, which chains him to the wraith of Celebrimbor, the elven smith of the Rings of Power, and prevents him from mortality. To get rid of said curse, Talion and Celebrimbor head off to Mordor in order to find the Black Hand. This is where Shadow of Mordor's superb nemesis system comes into play. Since the curse cast upon Talion doesn't allow him to ever truly die, the world around him is changed each time he comes back from the dead after being defeated by an enemy. The game does this by creating a believable orc society, giving each orc their own strengths and weaknesses. For example, an orc that managed to kill you might now get promoted, but since he got burned while fighting you, he might now also be afraid of fire as well. Orcs also react to the time of day, your current position, and even seem to have their own personality.
My boy! Fight? We don't have to fight. I'm not like them other orcs.
Hell, there are groups of orcs chanting an orc's individual name whilst trying to kill you if he's in a high position. I guess what I'm trying to say is, the nemesis system is extremely fleshed out, and you have to try it out for yourself in order to grasp the amount of effort that must have gone into making it work. When it comes to gameplay, it's hard to deny that Shadow of Mordor is heavily inspired by other open world games, such as the Arkham and Assassin's Creed series. While it never quite reaches the heights of those games, this combination just makes for a really fun core gameplay experience that is backed up by an expansive upgrade system unlike anything ever seen in the games it draws inspiration from. It even brings great new ideas to the table, like the ability to take control over an unlimited amount of enemies and thereby building your own little army. Of course, just like in the games I mentioned before, you're allowed to approach situations stealthily or in a rather aggressive manner, and you can choose between engaging opponents directly or picking them off from a distance. Shadow of Mordor can also be really challenging sometimes, though sometimes it appears that unnecessary challenge is added due to the game's wonky camera, imprecise climbing mechanics, and its weak lock-on system. Furthermore, missions in Shadow of Mordor aren't restartable, which makes sense for some missions, especially in the context of the Nemesis system, but most of the time just adds to the frustration when the player fails to reach a mission's goal or optional objective. This is especially annoying when taking on side missions that force you to go back to the mission's starting point in order to play them again after failing to reach an objective. Sadly, the game's AI isn't really smart either, which is sad to see considering the believability previously established by the Nemesis system.
Smells sweet, like flipping fishes. But filthy tricksy ranger comes along. Craggy ranger, smelly stinky ranger.
Even though the story isn't anything special, it is compelling enough to keep you entertained throughout the course of the game's campaign, and is backed up by some solid voice acting by Troy Baker.
Army.
How do I do it?
The chemistry between the two protagonists, on the other hand, can seem a little odd at times, with the Wraith Celebrimbor always having some wise, melodramatic advice about human behavior and so for you.
The White Wizard is taking his toll on the Queen. Only in stealth can we clear a path so Lothariel and the men may find the elixir.
Emotion fogs your way. Risk without reward is recklessness.
This medicine will clear the Queen's mind and lead to answers of your past.
Then may truth justify our alliance with these people.
Aside from the main story, there's still a lot of collectibles to find, forge towers to reforge, and surprisingly interesting side missions to take on. Doing so will earn you rewards such as better weapons and new abilities, and you're likely to spend a lot of time experimenting with the Nemesis system as well. You might also spend some time simply strolling through the stunningly beautiful lands of Mordor, which are enhanced by some great weather effects and a dynamic day-night cycle, making the game's world even more immersive. Shadow of Mordor is an amazing game. Where some gameplay related annoyances can sometimes get in the way of fun, the game's truly impressive and revolutionary Nemesis system, its great visuals and its interesting mashup of two of the biggest ongoing open world franchises more than make up for it. To the Nemesis system, depth now finally matters in video games, making this something that I'd love to see many other games incorporate in the future. All in all, Shadow of Mordor reaches highs so high that it will make you forget even about its lowest lows in no time.
Now, bring me the head of this grave walker.
Claim the head yourself.